icon series.
Okay, children. So, in the lesson part, we have seen how puppets came into origin, and in the fun with the grammar part, we have seen some grammar portions also. Now, we have to get on to the activity part, which is totally based on the language skills of reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Okay, because English is basically a language, and we have to learn language for the purpose of language. English, like Telugu or Hindi, should not be used or learned like we learn maths or science or social sciences. It's not just a group of new words or word meanings or question answers or grammar. Language has to be used. Okay. So this part of the textbook is actually based on this particular purpose of improving our language skills. Right? English has 4 language skills: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Okay. So when we practice this thoroughly, we will learn how to speak in English, how to listen in English, how to write in English, and how to read English textbooks and other materials written in English. Okay. So in this part, we have a reading passage. So the passage will come now, and you will listen to the passage first. I will read it again, and then I will give you the chance to read the passage yourself. Okay.
A puppet is a figure or doll usually made to look like a person or an animal. Puppets are controlled by people. Some puppets fit over the hand or a finger, while some have strings or rods that are used to move them. Puppets are usually meant for telling stories. The person who operates puppets is called a puppeteer. Puppetry is an old and traditional art which is still used in almost every culture in different parts of the world. In India, puppets are mostly used to tell stories of gods and heroes. In some part of the world, they were used in religious ceremonies and for rituals. String puppets were popular in European courts and places of Venice. Shadow puppets probably started in China. Years ago, the Chinese puppets were made of donkey, sheep, water buffalo, or fish skin. Puppets were used by Americans, Greeks, and Africans too. These days, puppets are mainly used for entertaining children or for teaching purposes. Nowadays, the different kinds of puppets are there: robotic puppets, Japanese red puppets, glove puppets, hand puppets, costume body puppets, and so on.
Okay, children. So have you listened to this? Okay. Now I will read this passage once again, and then I will let you read the passage. Okay. A puppet is a figure or doll usually made to look like a person or an animal. Puppets are controlled by people. Some puppets fit over the hand or a finger, while some have strings or rods that are used to move them. Puppets are usually meant for telling stories. The person who operates a puppet is called a puppeteer. A puppeteer. Puppetry is an old and traditional art which is still used in almost every culture in different parts of the world. In India, puppets are mostly used to tell stories of gods and heroes. In some parts of the world, they were used in religious ceremonies and for rituals. String puppets were popular in European courts and palaces of Venice. Shadow puppets probably started in China. Years ago, the Chinese puppets were made of donkey, sheep, water buffalo, or fish skin. Puppets were used by Americans, Greeks, and Africans too. These days, puppets are mainly used for entertaining children or for teaching purposes. Nowadays, the different kinds of puppets are there, like robotic puppets, Japanese red puppets, glove puppets, hand puppets, costume body puppets, and so on. So the passage is all about puppets. Okay, puppets are dolls or small figures. They are controlled by human beings, people. Some puppets are made to fit in the hand. Some are made to fit in the fingers, and some are controlled using threads and rods. So the person who controls this puppet is called a puppeteer, and the art of using puppets for telling stories are called puppetry. It's an old and a traditional art. It is still found in very many cultures around the world. Okay, we can see puppetry in different forms in different parts of the world. In India, basically puppets are used to tell the stories of gods and heroes. Heroes means warrior heroes. Okay. Now, in some regions, they are used in religious purposes also. Okay. String puppets were popular. String puppets means puppets which were controlled using small strings and threads. They were very famous in Europe and in the palaces of Venice. Venice is a region in Italy. Shadow puppets, as we saw that in the lesson, the shadow of the puppet is made on a screen. So such kind of puppetry was started in China. Okay, so in the olden days, the Chinese people used different kinds of animal skins, like the skin of a donkey, skin of a sheep, or a skin of a water buffalo, or even some fish skins were used to make these puppets. It was used by different people, like Americans used it, Greek used it, Africans used it. So now, in the olden days, it was basically a form of entertainment because there were no movies, there were no TVs. So the people enjoyed puppetry a lot. But now, it is basically for entertaining children, not for the elders. And some puppets are used for teaching purposes also. Okay, and nowadays there are different kinds of puppets, like robotic puppets are there. Another type is called the Japanese red puppets. Then a glove puppet, which is made to fit inside in the hand puppets, costume body puppets. So there are different types of puppets like that. Okay, so this is the passage all about, and now I will give you some time for you to go through this particular passage. Read this passage. Read it loud. Okay. Okay, children. So now we will go on to answer some of the questions from this passage. So the first question is, what do puppets look like? Usually look like. What do puppets usually look like? And what is the answer? Yes, a puppet usually look like a person or an animal. Okay. So what does a puppets usually look like? Puppets look like a person or an animal. Now, who is a puppeteer? Who is a puppeteer? Who is called a puppeteer? A person who operates puppets is called a puppeteer. So a person who controls the puppet is called a puppeteer, right? Third question. What are puppets usually meant for? Means what are puppets usually made for? Puppets are usually meant for telling stories. Okay. So in the olden days, puppets were usually used for telling different stories. We said even in India, we used to tell the stories of gods and heroes, isn't it? Yeah. So puppets are usually meant for telling stories, right? So what kind of stories are mostly told with the help of puppets in India? Oh. So why did we use puppets in India? So we saw puppets were used for telling stories. Now we need to tell what kind of stories were told using puppets in India. So what kind of stories were told in India? Puppets were mostly used to tell the stories of gods and heroes. So in India, puppetry was basically for the purpose of telling stories of gods and heroes. Okay. Where were the string puppets very popular? String puppets we told, no? Yeah, puppets which is controlled by threads and sticks. String puppets were popular in European courts and palaces of Venice. So where were the string puppets very popular? String puppets were very popular in European courts and palaces of Venice. Venice is a place in Italy. We told it, yeah. Where were shadow puppets first used? Where were shadow puppets first used? In China. Shadow puppets were first used in China. So where were shadow puppets first used? Shadow puppets were first used in China. Next question. What was used to make Chinese puppets years ago? So we saw how Chinese people made puppets also, na? Yes. What were used? Years ago, the Chinese puppets were made of donkey, sheep, water buffalo or fish skin. So years ago, the Chinese people used the skin of donkey, sheep, water buffalo or fish to make the puppets. Okay. Name any three kinds of puppets used these days. So what are the different kinds of puppets that we have nowadays? Robotic puppets, Japanese red puppets, glove puppets. We can say hand puppets or the costume body puppets also. Okay. So robotic puppets, Japanese red puppets, glove puppets are a few kinds of puppets used these days. So we learned some new things also about puppets. Okay. Let's practice is the second one. Follow your teacher while he or she is saying and pronounce the words. So we have got a set of words here. And we need to listen carefully how these words are pronounced. Okay. So I will let you know how they are pronounced first, and then we will do a bit of practice also. Okay.
1. Eardrops. 2. East. 3. Earthworm. 4. Early. 5. Earn. 6. Elaborate. 7. Elan. 8. Evict. 9. Electrician. 10. Electronic. 1. Yellow. 2. Yonder. 3. Yoke. 4. Yatch. 5. Yahoo. 6. Yak. 7. Yak. 8. Yamuna. 9. Yap. 10. Yesterday.
Okay, so we will practice them now once. Look at the first one here. Eardrops. What is this? Eardrops. Tell it after me. Eardrops. East. East. Earthworm. Earthworm. Early. Early. Earn. Earn. Elaborate. Elaborate. Elan. Elan. Evict. Evict. Electrician. Electrician. Electronic. Electronic. Okay, so eardrops, east, earthworm, early, earn, elaborate, elan, evict, electrician, electronic. Okay, now we will check the second one. This is yellow. Say it after me. Yellow. Yonder. Yonder. York. York. Yacht. Yacht. Yahoo. Yahoo. Yak. Yak. Yell. Yell. Yamuna. Yamuna. Yap. Yap. Yesterday. Yesterday. Okay. So now I'll keep it again for a while for you to read the words. Okay, children. Now we'll go on to the next one. Read the following conversation and enact it with your friend partner in the class. So here is a conversation that is happening in between two friends. We will play that first for you, and after that I will show you the wordings. Okay, so listen to this, and after that I will show you the wordings, and then you can practice it with your partner. Okay. Okay, now we are not going to the class, so you can find a brother, sister or some friends around to practice it with, right? So listen carefully.
Azhar, Vikram. Hey Vikram, sorry, I wasn't there when you called up last evening. Yes, I spoke to your brother. I suppose you had gone out to watch a puppet show. Oh, yes, I went to watch an international puppet show that was held at Creative Center Auditorium. How was it? Truly unbelievable. Apart from Indian participants, there were groups of Germany, Israel, the USA, Brazil, and various other courtiers. The puppeteers were too good. The stories that they narrated were very interesting, and the light effects were also amazing. I wish you had seen this show. It was simply wonderful. Were there any shadow puppets as well? Yes. Next time I'll take you along. Sure. Thanks.
Okay, children, have you listened to the conversation? Fine. Now, I will show you the wordings of this particular conversation here, and yeah, you can practice it with your friend or a brother or a sister or whoever that may be. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next one. Rhyme time. So read loud the following poem and then recite that in the group in the class. Okay. So here is a rhyme that is coming over here. You will listen to this rhyme first, and after that I will show you the wordings of the rhyme so that you can yes, sing it.
Romo went to watch a puppet show. With his friends, sat in the first row. The lights went on and the puppets danced. Everyone in the audience gasped and glanced. A king fought a giant who was huge and defiant. The king defeated him outright. The audience shouted with delight. The sorrows of the king's people were gone. Joy and cheer like the bright sun shone. Romu also enjoyed the puppet show, but wanted to watch it once more.
Yeah, how was the rhyme? It's a beautiful rhyme about a puppet show, na? Yeah. So now I will show you the wordings of this particular poem so that you can read it and practice it, okay? Okay, now we will move on to the next one. Some questions are there about the rhyme. Who went along with Romo to watch the puppet show? Who went along with Romo to watch the puppet show? Romo's friend along with Romo to watch the puppet show. So who did go to watch the puppet show? Who have gone? Romo and his friends have gone for the puppet show. Romo went along with his friends. Right? Now the second question. What happened when the lights went on? What happened when the lights went on? The puppets danced. What happened? The puppets danced. The third question. Who lost the fight in the puppet show? There was a war, no? There was a fight happening in the puppet show. Who lost the fight? The giant lost the fight in the puppet show. The giant means the devil kind of a thing. Yes. The giant lost the fight in the puppet show. Mention 2 or 3 pairs of rhyming words. You know rhyming words, na? Yeah, the end sound of every line should be the same. Show, row, danced, glanced, giant, defiant, outright, delight. Okay, show, row, they rhyme. Danced, glanced, giant, defiant, outright, delight. Okay, so these are some of the rhyming words in the poem. Okay, now we will move on to the next one. Rhyme time. Underline the rhyming words. So we need to identify the rhyming words in this poem and underline them. So Romo went to watch a puppet show. With his friends sat in the first row. So show matches with the row. Show, row. Is it? The lights went on and the puppets danced. Everyone in the audience gasped and glanced. Danced, glanced, isn't it? Yeah. So danced is one word, glanced is another word. Now, the king fought a giant who was huge and defiant. Giant and defiant. In the previous question also we saw this. Giant rhymes with the defiant. The king defeated him outright. The audience shouted with the delight. Outright, delight. So outright matches with rhymes with the delight. The sorrows of the king's people were gone. Joy and cheer like the bright sun shone. Gone, shone. Isn't it? Gone rhymes with the shone. Romo also enjoyed the puppet show but wanted to watch it once more. Show more. That doesn't rhyme, no? Okay. So show, row, danced, glanced, giant, defiant, outright delight, gone, shone are the rhyming words in this poem. Okay? Which are they? Show, row, danced, glanced, giant, defiant, outright delight, gone, shone. Right? Okay, then we will go on to the next one. Writing skills. Transcription. Rewrite the following passage neatly in your notebook. Circle countable nouns and underline the uncountable nouns. So there is a sentence given here. We need to write that in our notebook. And when we write it, we need to check for the countable nouns and the uncountable nouns. If you come across a countable noun, then we will use this box. You can circle it. When we come across an uncountable noun, we will underline that. Okay? So the passage, the priest first made a puppet with cotton and painted it to look like the queen. Once the puppet was ready, he invited the emperor for a special puppet show. So the priest is a countable noun. Na? We can count how many priests are there. First made a puppet. Puppet again is a countable noun. With cotton. Can we count cotton? No. So we will put an underlining here. And painted it to look like the queen. Queen is a countable noun. Once the puppet was ready, puppet we have already marked here. Na? He invited the emperor. Emperor also is a countable noun. We can count them, isn't it? Yes. So priest, puppet, queen and emperor are countable nouns and cotton is an uncountable noun. Okay. Priest, puppet, queen, emperor are the countable nouns and cotton is an uncountable noun. Right? Fine. We will go on to the next one. Complete the following sentences by adding words of your own. State the kind of noun for each of the underlined words. The first one has been done for you, right? So half of the sentence will be given there. The remaining half we have to complete. I will complete it for myself. You can write it off yourselves. Okay, no problem. So Ramu went to watch a puppet show with his friends and found it interesting. So Ramu went was given there to watch a puppet show and with his friends, and found it interesting. This part we need to write ourselves. Okay, this part we need to write ourselves. Now Ramu is underlined here. That is a proper noun. Okay, so here the second sentence. Long ago in China, there lived an emperor. Okay, long ago in China, there lived an emperor. China is the underlined word. China is the name of a place, a country. So that is a proper noun. Okay. Third one. The emperor's loneliness is due to the death of his wife. The emperor's loneliness is due to the death of his wife. Loneliness is an underlined word. Loneliness we can only feel. We cannot see it. We cannot feel it. It doesn't have a shape. So that's why it is an abstract noun. Okay, it is an abstract noun. Now the fourth one. Some children were playing in the sand. Okay, some children were playing in the sand, sitting in the class. Anything you can write here, doesn't matter. Children is an underlined word. We can use the word children for any children around the world. No? So that is a common noun. That is a commonly used word and that is a common noun. One day, a priest came to meet the king. One day, a priest came to meet the king. So, priest is the underlined word here, and any priest can be called a priest, isn't it? Priest is not a single person in the world. Plenty of priests are there, and we can call any priest with that name. So, that is a common noun. Okay. Now, the last one. A troop of dancers were traveling to the nearby village. It's a collective noun. A troop of dancers were traveling to the nearby village, or a troop of dancers were dancing on the stage. Anything you can write here. But troop is the word underlined and that is a collective noun. A group of things together is called a collective noun, isn't it? Yeah, here troop says a group of dancers. That's why troop has become a collective noun. Okay. So Ramu went to watch a puppet show with his friends and found it interesting. Ramu is a proper noun. Long ago in China, there lived an emperor. China is the name of a country, a proper noun. The emperor's illness is due to the death of his wife. Loneliness is an abstract noun. Some children were playing in the sand. Children is a common noun. One day, a priest came to meet the king. A priest. Priest is a common noun again. A troop of dancers were traveling to the nearby village. Troop is a collective noun. So I will keep the window same for another minute so that you can read the sentences. Okay, now we'll go on to the next one. Homework. Imagine you went to watch a puppet show with your friends. You found it very interesting. Now, write a letter to your grandma and describe the puppet show. You may pick ideas from the poem given in the rhyme time section or add your own poems. Your address and some details are given below. Fill the rest and remember to write your letter in 3 paragraphs. Okay. So we will do it as a sample here. So here we need to write the date. So today's date is 29th June 2020. Dear Grandma, hope you are fine and keeping good health. Last evening I watched a puppet show near the temple in our village. It was a big show. Show. Okay. So what we have written here is it scrolls off. So last evening I watched a puppet show near the temple in our village. It was a big show, right? The story was about a war in between a king and a demon. Okay, the king fought the war bravely and killed the demon. It was very interesting. Okay. I wish you to be here so that we could both go and enjoy the show. We will go to the puppet show when you come to our home the next time. Okay? Yeah. So we have told what was the story here. The story was about a war in between a king and a demon. The king fought the war bravely and killed the demon. It was very interesting. I wish you to be here so that we could both go and enjoy the show. We will go to the puppet show when you come to our home. Oh, sorry. HOME, home, the next time. Okay. Yours lovingly, our name. So this is how we write a letter. So we tell about what happened there, here, what was it about in the second paragraph, and how did you feel about that in the third paragraph. Okay. So paragraph number 1, what happened there. Paragraph number 2, what was it all about. Paragraph number 3, how did you feel that. Right? Okay. The next one, project work. Work in pairs and make a pair of finger or hand puppets with a chart paper, satin ribbon and a sketch pen. You may decorate them with bows, caps, etc. Enact the conversation given in the letters converse section or narrate an interesting folk tale of your choice in not more than 3 minutes. So what we are supposed to do here is we have to make small puppets using chart papers, satin ribbon. Satin ribbon means the ribbon that is usually, we tie gift packets with this ribbon. A thin ribbon will be there, na? Yeah. And we can draw the eyes, nose, ears, mouth and all these kinds of things using the sketch pen. We can take the help of elders in our family to do that. And then we can play different stories with that. Okay. So, if you find enough time and you have the help of your elders, do it. It will be a great fun actually to do it. Next is the value corner or the life skills that we learn from this. See, the meaning of life is to give life a meaning. Joy and sorrow are the two sides of the same coin called life. So in the story, we have seen the king, the Chinese king. He spent a lot of time in grief because he lost his wife. So when we spend life like that, there is no meaning in our life. Definitely there is no meaning in our life. We have to make a meaning. See, happiness and sadness, joy and sorrow, they come and they go. The happiness will not stay with us. The sorrow will not stay with us. We should not allow them to stay with us. Okay? They will come and they will go. And they will always be coming and going. If you take a coin, it has two sides, no? One side we have a digit and the other side we have the 3 lines. Imagine the coin, the digit part is a sadness, the lines part is a happiness. And the coin is nothing else but a life. Okay? If you toss the coin up, sometimes it may fall joy, sometimes it may fall sadness. Both these come and go. There is nothing else happening in that. But we should not spend our life thinking that our life is wasted. There is nothing for us to do in this life. We should never spend our life like that. Okay? So that is a great lesson that we have to learn from this. See, last year, this time, we used to go to the school. This year, this time, we are sitting back at home and learning this. Does it mean that the schools will never open? Definitely. If not today, if not tomorrow, definitely day after tomorrow. Otherwise the other day or the next month. Definitely the schools will reopen and we will go back to the schools and we will be with our friends again. Okay? So sometimes it happens so, sometimes it happens the other way. But we should be ready and willing to take it as it comes. That is the spirit. Right? So be ready, be brave to take life as it comes and we will have definitely some meaning for our life. Okay? So that is the lesson, the origin of the puppets. And we will be back with the next lesson in the next class. Right? So till then, stay in home, stay cool, stay safe. Okay?